Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 535. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
KC, how are we?
So I got an update on the refill map. I bet you thought I forgot about that, didn't you?
Oh boy, this again?
Fools. You fools thought I forgot about this. Nope. Updated as of today, I have confirmation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this was from, like a month or two ago at this point. Trying to determine.
Feels like it hasn't been long enough.
Wow, thanks, man. Appreciate you. No, the trying to get confirmation from fan bases around the league whether or not their home team offers free refills. Because, well, just go. You'll see the TikTok. Go find my rant on TikTok, and you'll understand why I'm so up in arms about this. Maybe you'll join the cause. Updated as of today. Well, I say that because Nate's not joining the cause. Nate's willing. He said, please, MLB franchise that makes millions and billions of dollars, take more of my money for this watered down, lukewarm Coca-Cola. Please, team. Please. Anyway.
I have enough on my plate to care about this.
Well,
your plate's clear. Huh?
You should add this to your plate, buddy, because this is a big deal. All right, updated as of today. Teams that have confirmed, and again, this is up for, if people want to dispute this, that's fine. I'll have to have a final version of this at the end. Updated as of today, teams that have free refills that have confirmed: the Padres, the Mariners, the Astros, the Royals, the Guardians, the Orioles, and I already had an objection to the Blue Jays after posting the graphic today. Heard that maybe there wasn't, maybe there was. So I'm going to need some confirmation on the Blue Jays.
Your sources are people in the comment section?
Correct. People that have gone to games thus far this year. Teams that have that do not offer free refills, as confirmed by the fans, in 2025. The Cardinals, the Braves, the Tigers, Pirates, and Phillies.
Good stuff. What do we do with this information?
All right, here we go. Now in the chat, Pirates have free refills. So, okay, so
that's a caveat. I mean, that's an interesting caveat, but it is noteworthy. I think that is fair. I think if you spend the money on a souvenir cup, you should get the free refills. A regular cup, I don't know.
Nate, that's the entire point of
I don't know if I can get on board with
this movement. It's the souvenir cups.
Well,
I don't expect a refill on a paper cup.
To be honest, I've been checked out of this whole thing, so this is news to me.
The disrespect is just through the roof.
Do you have notes? Do you have like a notes like thing like completely dedicated to this?
I don't appreciate the mockery. I truly just do not appreciate the mockery. I'm trying to start a movement here, but your plate's too full, so I'll just go on about my day.
It's a good idea.
They said electricity wasn't a good idea, and look how that worked out. So
I don't know how many people said that. Do you still have a ridiculous souvenir cup collection? Has that since dwindled?
No, I haven't dwindled that down. I need to dial it back a little bit. If I do say so.
I think what you do is you take it out of the cupboard and you start one of those snakes behind you, just like a tower.
Maybe I do that.
I think that's a win-win, right? You get the wife off the back.
Clear up some cabinet space.
How about it? And you get to show them off.
How about it? Speaking of win-win, Rockies have not been doing much of that at all this year. On pace to be the worst team in baseball.
Ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say not in 2025. All of history, actually.
All of the time.
Believe it or not, every of the time. And I'm glad, truthfully, that actually no, because we were gonna record at the end of yesterday's games, and by then they had already fired Bud Black. So we already had that news, but wasn't anticipating this when I was sort of thinking ahead, planning ahead, like what are we gonna cover to start the week?
Sure.
I was thinking, Rockies, not thinking that they were going to do the unthinkable and get rid of their manager. But alas, here we are. Fired Bud Black on Sunday. They are now off to a Major League worst 7-33 start. And they are on pace. Hold on, hold the phone. They are on pace to have the worst run differential since 1961 by over 200 runs.
Nice. Nice.
Is anything going to move the needle for you today? My goodness. Come on. Let's get some emotion here.
I don't know.
Buddy.
What do you want me to say?
The worst run differential since 1961 by over 200 runs. Are you hearing the words that I'm saying?
It's too early for me to do this.
No, you're right. There's still time to turn it around, for sure.
Still time to right the ship. Is Clint Hurdle at the helm now? Again?
Clint Hurdle is...
Tour number 2?
No, he's the interim bench coach. Third base coach Warren Schaefer will serve as interim manager.
All right.
I don't like how it says will serve as interim manager for the rest of the season. I don't like that kind of promise.
When's the last time you had 2 managers let go in the same season? That is a good trivia question.
That is a great trivia question. I'm curious. Will Google come through for us here? When is the last time
we had a joke going in the group chat that like Andrew McCutchen should be like a player manager for the first time in a long time? Why not, Rockies? Why not? Do something fun. I don't know who. I don't know who would take that role. I mean, Chris Bryant's got plenty of free time.
Somebody on Reddit said, has a team ever fired 2 managers in the same season? Somebody said yes, and the team's name is George Steinbrenner. You would know. Has George ever fired 2 managers in a single season?
Oh, I don't remember that. I mean, I
I
remember.
should say.
It had to have been when it was Billy Martin was one of those managers. I know that there was some back and forth with Billy Martin.
Somebody said Rangers had 4 managers in 1977, including a 1-game manager.
Whoa.
Imagine getting the call for a game.
Day of my life right there. That's just the best day. I don't know, man. Look, this Rockies organization, everything we just said about the Pirates last week, you just copy and paste that transcript and slide it on into this one. It's such a mess. I wasn't necessarily ever a fan of Bud Black. I never really thought that it was like a great hire to begin with, but I can't sit here and say that this is any part his fault. Like what are you going to do when you're given this roster, when this team just doesn't perform? You're not given anything to work with, man. Like there's only so much you can expect the guy to do. At least he went out on top with a dub, you know? What's that whole
Yes.
Billy Bean quote at the end of Moneyball? Still trying to end the season with a win? Bud Black just did. So check that box.
One of how many they got now? 7.
7. Hey, but they got I think a 1-0 lead at this current moment over the Rangers. So
they already have. Let's just go through some numbers here. They're already 19 and entering Monday. They're 19 and a half back in the division.
That's
Silver lining here. They're only 16 and a half back in the wild card. 2-8 in their last 2-8 within. I mean,
right there.
What's Adidas say? Nothing is impossible. Run differential of -128. They're 3-22 against teams 500 or better. What are some other nuggets here? According to Chris Vanini, he said the 2024 White Sox, who lost a record 121 games, were 11-28 on May 10th. The 2020, this is obviously a few days old at this rate, but they said the 2025 Rockies are now 6-33 on May 10th. So nearly just over half this amount of wins on May 10th than the previous worst team in baseball history, the White Sox, had on May 10th. And we haven't even touched on the last few days they had sort of leading into the weekend / over the weekend. 55 runs allowed over 3 days, including, what was it, a 21-0 shutout at the hands of the Padres?
Was that a CG as well? Who's pitching?
I don't know, but the social media.
It was.
Was it social media
Steven
manager?
Kolek.
I saw somebody respond to a tweet that was like giving him props and like against the Rockies doesn't count. I'm like,
in Coors though.
In core, I was gonna say, yeah, I'll take that. I'd say that sort of cancels itself out.
Yeah.
The social media manager put you've been following the Bill Belichick drama
with the girlfriend?
Yeah, have you been following all that?
Absolutely.
Did you see the meme that came from it when he was doing that interview? I think it was like with CBS.
Yeah.
And they panned over to her and she's like, "We're not talking about this."
Yeah.
They tweeted that meme out after the loss and she's like, "Yeah, we're not talking about this." So I'm like,
Hey, look,
at least social media managers taking it in stride.
Yeah, you got to.
Some more numbers here for you, Nate. Entering Sunday, the Rockies offense had the fewest, this is across all of baseball, the fewest runs scored, most strikeouts, second fewest swipes, second worst average, second worst on base, third worst slug, third worst OPS, fifth fewest walks, and I already said most strikeouts. They're pitching worst ERA, most hits allowed, fewest strikeouts, highest whip, highest opponent's batting average. They're the only team with an opponent's batting average over 300 at this point in the season, and their defense has allowed the most errors in baseball. And to Jacob's point in the chat, can we name 5 Rockies? Can we name 5 Rockies?
Ryan McMahon.
Charlie Blackmon's retired.
Hunter Goodman.
Brenton Doyle. Ezekiel Tovar. Chris Bryant. Barely counts.
Something Tolia. What's his first name?
No, it's not Tolia. It's like Tog.
That's how you say it, though.
But there's like a V
silent.
or something in there.
No.
Isn't there?
No. It's just silent. Tolia. I think it's Toglia.
Oh, it's the G that I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah.
Tolia.
There you go. So that's what, 6?
Herman Marquez.
Who's been kind of cheeks, hasn't he?
I think he just threw pretty well yesterday to get that dub.
Oh, he went yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe it must have been the stretch before that. It wasn't good.
Kyle Freeland, he was in that tough presser. Did you see that clip of him at the podium?
No.
I've looked so defeated. I don't even know. It was tough. He responded to a question and it didn't look good, man. And he just walked off after. It's like, yo, this is brutal.
That's a broken man.
It is. Yeah, man, it's really hard because like I do have like a little bit of like a soft spot in my heart for the Rockies, living there for 10 years and being to so many different games and getting to see like different phases. And I was there in 2007 when it was just like an insane run in October to even get in, and then like, you know, to blaze through the entire postseason and kind of have like the layoff before the World Series and then just get stomped. You have insane names that have come through there. Like, you know, for Tulo to be, you know, a face for a period of time, and Todd Helton, a Hall of Famer now. Matt Holliday is, I think, will get a lot of love for being a Cardinal, but I think if you were to ask him, he would probably wear a Rockies hat in the Hall. You know, obviously Arenado, like, just really good years. And it's hard to see this because, like, you have a fan base that's going to show up. I think that's why the argument is like, you got to think that like Charlie Monfort is like taking advantage of the fact that he still finds a way to sell tickets and get so many people to that stadium. But it's a beautiful ballpark. There's so much to do around the ballpark. You have the Broncos who, you know, are kind of off and on, but for the most part, they're competitive more often than not. The Avs just had a run in the playoffs. Like, you have a town. The Nuggets are still like still doing their thing. Like, you have a lot of sports fans in that area. You have so much that you can do. I bet you it's not very difficult to talk players into living in that city. Like, it's a cool place to live. Like, they need to really figure out how to coach to have a philosophy that fits in for their ballpark. And it needs to start from like the bottom parts of minor league system to coach this in. Like, why do we not have just like a plethora of sinker ballers pitching for the Rockies? Why are there not just hammering after ground ball pitchers? Why are they not getting hitters that can lift the ball more than most other guys? Like, there needs to be this philosophy. You see the Red Sox go after right-handed power hitters because of the wall. You see the Yankees going after hitters that can go to right field, whether it's left pull or right the other way, because of that advantage. Like, you have certain advantages to this ballpark. You have certain things that you can utilize, and you don't seem to scout or develop to fit that. It just doesn't make any sense. Why don't you have 3 outfielders that can absolutely fly and go out and get it? It's a big outfield. It's hard to watch over and over and over. And I know it's not on this like same argument as what we had last week with the Pirates and the how it's a classic franchise and a perfect ballpark and all those things, but like, without the history, it's a very similar comparison. You have a great ballpark. You have fans of all different ages that are going to go and hang out. Like, just be better. Do better. Find a way to just fit to your system. Have a philosophy. And don't tell me it can't be done. You see teams like the Rays that have figured out a way to say, okay, if we're not going to attract top tier free agents, if we don't have the money for it, we're going to find a different way to be competitive. And it's so annoying to see these franchises that just don't even seem to really try to follow the same script in a way.
Well, dude, I mean, it's so simple for these ownership groups. Well, specifically for a team like the Rockies, when you look at that, you look at the outfield for that 21-0 blowout, embarrassment of an effort, and it's packed.
Yeah.
That's why would they need to change anything? They don't. And we've talked about this ad nauseum that people I mean, Pittsburgh's its own conversation, other like the A's, that's another conversation, but the Rockies in particular don't have to worry because it's such an attraction, because it's such a social event, because of the food, the beer, the views, everything. They do not have to worry. So why change? You had the excuse of the altitude to fall back on as a narrative for your franchise. You have nothing that you need to change because you don't need to.
It's true. You're not wrong. Just sucks to see, man. Sucks to see because like you expect teams. I don't have the expectation that all of these small market teams should be playoff contenders year in and year out. But when it's like a long enough chapter, and when you're on pace to have record lows across our entire sport, what are we doing?
On pace to win 28 games and be outscored by 518 runs. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know. And they're blessed with great competition in their division too, because you're always going to have Dodgers fans that show up. You're always going to have Padres fans that show up. They're always going to be there. Giants fans are really loud there too. You're in the NL. You always have Cubs that dominate that stadium when they're in town. Like you have the ability to fill that out, and they're just not spending their money the right way. It's brutal. I don't want to talk about them either, unless they're setting records.
Let's talk about a team that's been playing a different style of ball with different outcomes. The Kansas City Royals. Completely meant to mention them last episode and realized after the fact that I had completely skipped over them and their segment altogether. So I figured, why not now? Royals, hottest team in baseball over their last 20 games. They're 16-4 entering Monday. They're doing it on both sides of the ball. Team ERA of 2.29 over their last 20 games. Over that span, Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting .321 with 3 homers, 15 ribbies, and an OPS of .932. And Michael Garcia put some love on his name, hitting .347 over that span. 2 homers, 7 ribbies, and an OPS of .943. Seth Lugo, before his start on Sunday, the 4 starts coming into Sunday had an ERA of 1.98, had only given up 6 earned runs over that span, and had 21 strikeouts in those 4 starts. Carlos Estevez, 6 for his last 6 in save opportunities. So they're buttoned up all around.
They really are. It's cool to see Estevez doing his thing, because like he's been around a little bit and he's kind of hopped around and has had different roles. You've seen him have save opportunities before, but like it's good to see him just be the guy there. But they need to start hitting. That's what the whole conversation about their start was. Good pitching, solid pitching, just need some hitting, and they're starting to do it. Hottest team in baseball, though. I don't know, man. I mean, there's a couple teams that would give him a little bit of an argument today
over that span, and we'll get. In fact, you know what? Let's
just give them their flowers too.
Why don't we just give them their flowers right now? Twins and Cardinals coming into Monday, both riding 8-game win streaks. The Twins are winning not just baseball games; they're winning close baseball games. 7 of those 8 wins have been decided by 3 runs or fewer.
Whoa.
They got a team ERA of 2.22 over that streak, and the 8-game win streak has pushed them over 500 for the first time this year. They come into Monday 21-20. So this 8-game win streak has catapulted them from 4th in the division to 4th in the division. And they are just leaps and bounds ahead of a team that's on their heels, the Chicago White Sox, who sit at 12-29. So good for the Twins, really gaining some ground in that division.
Who'd have thought that the AL Central would just be this dominant, man?
I mean, even if it wasn't, it's still the Twins. They suck.
I agree. They're still, again, 21-20, like you said, 5 games back.
By the way, I didn't have any plans of mentioning this, but I saw this video today that the Twins put out, and I was like, oh, that's kind of creative. It was a social media manager for the Twins put out this video, and it was like, you know, you've seen the videos where they'll be coming down the hall, like the players will be coming down the hallway, and they'll have like a question on a whiteboard or whatever. You've seen those videos.
It's been overplayed at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. But this particular video, the question was, what do you think we do for our job? Meaning like the social media team. And so you got guys on there like, oh, you guys post our pictures on social and blah blah blah, like garner good relationships with the fans, blah 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 blah. Pablo Lopez is on there. I became a huge Pablo Lopez fan from this video. Just a genuine guy, very in tune as a social media manager myself, very much in tune with like what goes into it. And Harrison Bader just gave the most Harrison Bader response. Like I knew exactly what he was gonna say. He's like, oh, you guys do like the analytics for baseball, right? Look, what do you? Yeah, the social media team is working with the hitters down below with the iPads, doing a little front toss.
Yeah, I hope it was sarcastic.
I don't think it was. That guy seems like he just doesn't care. Anyway,
he's in the clouds is what he is.
Yeah. The other team riding an 8-game winning streak. Got to make sure we give them their flowers as well. The Cardinals, again, 8-game win streak, as the Twins have. They are riding a 28 run differential over that span. ERA even lower than that of the Twins at 2 flat. Wilson Contreras is currently on a 23-game on-base streak, and Victor Scott II has a career-high hitting streak of 11 games.
Yeah, that's solid, man. Only 1 game back behind the Cubs. So, like, to be able to leapfrog up, especially with the offseason they had, especially with all the noise, and, like, I was low on them. I'm pretty sure I had them at the bottom of the division. Still a chance that could happen, but they look good. They do look good. And currently right now, they got a 3-2 lead over Philly with 2 outs in the 8th. So, and Ryan Helsley seems to have found something this year like he did a few years ago. They look solid, man. Playing good D, pitching really well. It's crazy. I would love to see it continue. I would love to see them stay relevant. I would love to see a late Cubs Cardinals run going against each other in September. I mean, have a little spark in the rivalry. I'm down. But much like the Twins, I don't know if they have what it takes. And I don't think Ollie Marmol is good at his job. So
we're at like fire Ollie Marmol plus 900 at this point. Wasn't it? It was like 3 years ago, right? Or 2-3 years ago. My goodness. But yeah, unlike the Twins who jumped from 4th in their division to 4th, Cardinals, as you mentioned, are sitting 2nd in the division, holding a slim lead over the Brewers, who are just behind them, a game under 500 at 20-21 entering Monday.
The Reds have dipped there too, man. 3-7 in the last 10.
I don't like to see it. What else we got here? The Dodgers are reportedly going to be in, I should say. I don't want to accuse them of tampering. Reportedly going to be in on Kyle Tucker when free agency hits. What are our thoughts on this?
Kyle Tucker's agency is just following the playbook, man.
Did you read?
That's the way to let the leak go.
But did you see the headlines though? It was like it was something like the Dodgers are going to be in on Kyle Tucker, even if they're not committed to him. They're trying to keep the rest of the league honest or something. Did you see like they just feel like they have? Which I mean, I'm not doubting that they do, but they behave as if they have this power that they can just. Manipulate's a little strong of a word, but sort of course corrects the league in a way, which I mean, I guess they can, given
just the Dodgers taking over as commissioner.
Well, I mean, they're sitting here going, "Yeah, we just want to make sure that this guy gets his due, and we don't want to. We want to make sure that nobody's shortchanging him and adjusting the market. So we're just gonna throw our hat in the ring just to keep everybody on their toes, keep them honest. That's
I think
what
there's
they're
a
doing.
level to it. I think this was a no duh the second it came out, just because it was like, this is what you get over these stretches of dominance from teams, right? Like back in the day, it was like if the Yankees were in on a guy, like it was going to drive the price up, and that's what I'm saying is that I think Kyle Tucker's agency was just like, yeah, let's let this one to the public and let him see this. The more success he has, the more success the Dodgers have. It's just all.
But why would
together.
why would the agency be the one to leak the fact that the Dodgers would be in on him come free agency?
To put the world on notice, let that number continue to climb.
But what if they don't plan to be in on him?
I think I'm not saying they manufactured this rumor. I'm saying that they probably got confirmation that yes, they'd be in.
But to the questions in the chat, is that not tampering?
I think it's only tampering if there's direct contact with the player, no?
I would have to imagine that extends to the agency, no? As their representative? That's gotta be.
I mean, maybe. I think it's only tampering if there's like an offer on the table. I think it's. If there's like pursuit. I don't know if there's pursuit. It could have been just his agency reaching out to teams and saying like, hey, just trying to start a list. Kyle's got his soda notes started up. I think we're gonna get a note tab open up and start jotting down some list of teams that would be interested in some yays or nays in there. And are you a yay or nay? Either that or they just manufactured it.
It's possible all this was manufactured. The report did come from Bob Nightingale, who, as we know,
this guy.
Yeah.
Why don't you lead with that?
Well, I wanted to get some good conversation out before I drop that in there.
You catfish me.
According to Bob Nightingale, the Los Angeles Dodgers plan to jump into the free agent fray for Cubs outfielder Kyle Tucker this winter. Nightingale writes that they may not be the high bidder, but they'll surely keep everyone honest, just as they did when they were in the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
Whatever. Shut up, Bob.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, who are we kidding? Who's to say they wouldn't be in on Kyle Tucker? Like, why would we even doubt that? Like, at what point?
I don't doubt it.
At what point over the last 2 or 3 years did we draw the line and we're like, surely they can't add another? And what did they go out and do? Even if it wasn't like the top player on the market at that given point in time, they go out and get a. Who was it? Kirby Yates.
Maybe they're letting this out to like almost make themselves tamper proof. You know what I'm saying? So of course we're in. We're always in. Any player, anytime. We're always in. And then if any leak comes out, you're like, oh, duh, it's the Dodgers. Like, they're acting the way the LA Dodgers should act. Meanwhile, they're just tampering behind the scenes. That's another conspiracy. What do you think of that?
You might be onto something there. I mean, that'd be something you could pull off if you're the Dodgers. You spend so much money, you just piss so many people off that they're just like, whatever, fine,
Yep.
sign the whole league, whatever.
Yeah, tamper proof.
Employ every player in Major League Baseball and at the minor league level. We don't care. We're going to watch soccer now. We don't care.
That's why the Rockies suck.
That's a conspiracy. Do we think the Dodgers are trying to drive Major League Baseball into a free fall, sign everybody so that nobody can not just like figuratively compete, but like legitimately compete? Like these teams can't employ enough players because there's so many. Like Rob Manfred just turns a blind eye to the 40-man rule. Dodgers have 725 plus players in their system.
Right.
There's no other teams to play. They win by default. Are we considering that as an option?
I think it's out there. I think it's on the table. I think if we're brainstorming, we got to write it down on the whiteboard.
Can't rule anything out with the Dodgers. I'm going to be honest with you here. I was a little surprised at your response to this call that we're about to grade. Wasn't thrilled with, as I said, wasn't thrilled with your response because I would have expected you to be a little more enthused, but maybe I just caught you on a bad day.
I'm feeling unenthused today, so fire her up.
I'm guessing so. Issue is I'm going to have to go with audio because we're getting flagged by playing the actual video, the highlights on the stream.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, MLB. So here we go. This is actually from tonight's
free advertising, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. This is actually from tonight's game, Braves. Michael Harris.
Runner breaks for second here out to center. Harris sprinting straight back. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That is as sensational as it gets. Michael Harris. Runner breaks for second.
What's the beef with the call?
What do you let me ask you this legitimately. Do you think the call changes at all now that you're not watching the play? How much did the play beef up the call? Ask yourself that, sir.
That's okay. Okay. You don't need to yell.
You know?
We're all friends here. You don't need to yell. But to your point, that's a valid question. I'm trying to put myself in a state of mind had I not seen the play ahead of time. I'm trying to envision like that play would have
Here's
looked
my
like.
beef. Here's my beef is that the description of the play just shuts off. You're allowed to be shocked. But the whole point of you speaking is to feed us the information.
No, that's
Help
for a
us
radio
here.
call. I don't need the description. The whole no. When we do this, the whole thing is like you give. I mean, maybe not this particular instance, but you can't in one breath say you need to describe. You need to feed us info, but then on the other side of your mouth, you're going, well, you need to let it breathe. You need to give it time. You need to just
No, I think there's time and let it breathe when the crowd is going absolutely nuts. I think when there's a game-changing moment, I think this is an excellent catch. It's early in the game. I need you to be on point. I need you to describe. All he said was he's going straight back, and then it stopped. Oh my goodness. Like what? If I'm not watching, what happened? Did he catch it? Did he slam against the wall?
It's the broadcast call. You are watching it. This isn't radio.
No, boo.
Oh.
Don't sit here and tell me that you're staring at the TV during all 27 outs of a ball game.
But
it's
you can
not true.
If you're the broadcaster, you can have a pretty safe
Then what's
assumption.
the point of a broadcaster at all if all we're doing is watching? What's the point of them at all if they're not going to describe what's going on?
You don't have to describe. You can respond, which is what he did.
He didn't. We have no idea what happened. We don't know.
If you were watching the game, you knew what happened.
Then tell Vince Scully that. Tell Bob Uecker that.
Oh, sure. Let's bring in Vin Scully for
Bring
our
in the
argument.
freaking goats.
Oh my goodness.
This is a 6.3.
Red Sox with a solo home run to cut the deficit to 11.
Funny.
12 actually. You're going 6-3 on this call?
6-3. I think everything else was solid. I think it was a good moment. I think the oh my goodness, I like that. I'm not saying don't have that type of reaction, but like we can describe either the moment quickly before the moment happens or after.
Harris sprinting straight back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is as sensational as it gets. Michael Harris.
Did he rob it? Did he dive? Did he slam against the wall? We
If you were
don't
watching
know.
if you were watching the game, you would know.
No. No.
Look,
6.3. And that's generous. I'm being generous with a 6.3.
look,
I kind of want to drop it down after hearing it again.
Oh my gosh. If I'm watching the game, I don't necessarily need everything described in detail perfectly. What I'm saying though is if you're not going to describe it all, take this route. Just give me like one word, like give me what's that word we learned in English?
I'm not bailing you out.
Not nouns, not verbs, not what's the word? Somebody in the chat, help me out. Not oxymorons. What's the word? Bail me out. All right, fine. I'm gonna look it up. Is it oxymorons? Nope, that's not it.
It's definitely not.
What? Do you know the word? Can you tell me the word?
I don't know what you're telling
I'm not going to be able to
what you're
finish
trying
my
say,
thought.
but I'm not going to help you.
What?
The score goes down because of this. You're at a loss for words, and so was he.
Not interjections. Yeah, because of how great of a play it was that you should have been watching with your eyeballs. Anyway, give me just like one word, drop in like, oh my goodness, or something like that.
Is it an onomatopoeia?
I think that's the word. I think that's the word. Thanks. I'm like halfway through the thought now, and then you bail me out. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, just be the punctuation mark to what I just saw, and that he did that, and he did it well.
So what's your rating?
What was your 6? What?
A generous 6.3.
I'll go 5-1. No, I'm gonna go. I think in my head I was trying to go higher just because I knew that you were so against this call. But I think if I'm being rational here,
because my first question that I asked you right after play really played
yeah,
played a role in this rating, didn't it?
And remind me again, what was that first question?
How much did the play hype up the call?
Yeah, all of this
you can't get caught up in the play.
All of this is what you consider as you're watching with your eyeballs. That's part of the equation.
My back was the TV. I was doing dishes.
Okay, so if your back is to the TV, you're doing dishes, and you hear, "Oh my goodness! Oh my!" Are you going to turn around? Or are you going to hear? Are you going to turn? Are you more likely to turn around in that scenario, or are you going to turn around if the guy goes, "Well, that was like a 27.2 foot per second sprint speed, and he covered 73 feet of real estate to make that catch."
Here's what we can do next week. Just because of this, is that we need to pull up like a Jim Edmonds catch, or anyone going straight back and making a play, and see what that call was like. That's what we're gonna do.
Fine.
Fine.
I don't even care about this anymore. Go home.
Ball game. Cardinals 9 straight.
9 straight for the Cardinals. What else we got here? Evan
You didn't give
Longoria.
a rating.
It's not important. Evan. Okay. It was I'll go 6.8. I'll go 6.8. No.
Moving along.
I'm gonna give it a 7.0. I'm gonna give it a 7.0. Anyway,
Do I have reasoning? Do we at least have reasoning for this? This is just a gut feeling shooting from the hip.
I told you I like the fact that it was the punctuation mark to an incredible catch. That's all my reasoning is. The oh my goodness, he wasn't in there dropping advanced analytics on the way to commercial.
I don't need
which
that.
is another element to this. This play took them to commercial break. So you can say what you're going to say, let it ride out and go to break. It's different if this is like for the first out of the inning. Anyway, not talking about it anymore. Evan Longoria.
You got to add that slams up against the wall to end the inning. Like that's all I need at the end, and I feel a lot better about it.
This is crazy.
You know I'm right.
Evan Longoria has called it a career, and I'll be honest with you, I thought he had been retired
4 years ago.
for at least a decade. No, not actually a decade, but it sure felt like a while. He's going to sign a one-day contract with the Rays. He's 39, played 16 years in the bigs, 10 of them with the aforementioned Rays. Was rookie of the year. What else about Evan Longoria? Earned MVP votes in 6 different seasons.
Deece.
20 plus homers in 10 different seasons, and went 30 plus homers 4 times. He'll retire with a career slash line of 264, 333, 471 with 342 home runs. That's a quality career, man. 342 dingers to your name.
Just shy of 2,000 hits. That's a very good career.
How many did he finish with?
1930.
I could live with that. If you know how much it would eat at me if it was like 1997.
That's the A-Rod comp. I think it was 698 or 697, something like that.
That's
3
even
home
worse.
runs. That's so
home
terrible.
runs are that's even
700
worse.
is like that would haunt me.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's tough. This is, I feel like we talk about this a lot. This is one of those scenarios where I would have rathered he stayed with the Rays and sort of be one of their forever franchise guys, which he still is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not contractually, but just because he ended up playing with the D-backs, the Giants. Was there anybody else?
I didn't realize he was a Giant for 5 years.
Yeah, it was the Giants and then the D-backs. I think he finished with the D-backs.
Yeah, last year the D-backs was 2023.
Yeah.
Had a 124 OPS plus in 2021 for the Giants.
Was that
nice
year? Was that
season.
year they went freaking stupid?
He only played 81 games, but
That 21 Giants team, that was the 103
was.
win team or whatever.
yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah, this is one of those cases where it's like you wish he could have stayed a forever Ray, as I'm sure they're
You got a
labeling their
favorite
guys, but
I loved. There was something so swaggy about Evan Longoria's stance. There was something so chill about his stance. Just very upright and just kind of low, sitting, just toe taps kind of comes up. It was very smooth.
I tried. In our very limited,
Sure.
the video work we did in college. That was the guy that I tried sort of modeling what I did after, because it was,
fair.
to your point, very loose, very very relaxed, which is something I like struggled with. I'd tighten up a little bit, get too tense with like the hands or whatever, but he was just this like free flowing guy. And another thing that I have to credit him for, which I implemented in college, is there's a video floating around out there somewhere. It may have been like one of those sports science videos or something, but he did this thing, which I loved, is it was a pre-pitch routine that he had where when he would, was it before he stepped into the box? Before he stepped into the box, he would look at the top of the foul pole.
I heard about this.
As sort of like a zeroing in mechanism, because he said, regardless where you played, what time of day, what time of year,
that was always there.
That was always going to be there, is the top of the foul pole. Like if you couldn't focus on other things because they may or may not be there, but he could always rely on that. And that was something I incorporated, and because I just loved that sort of mechanism.
Yeah, I like that.
But anyway, heck of a career.
Heck of a career. Very, very, very solid career.
We're putting him in the Hall of Very Good.
Hall of Very Good. Rays retire his number. I think that's all in stock for him. Yeah.
The Pope, I'm sure you've heard, is apparently a White Sox fan. Named the Pope last week, Pope Leo the 14th. I saw this tweet from, well, I'm sure you've seen the videos and stuff going around where somebody apparently like went back.
Yeah, and found him at the World
footage
Series.
of him at the, well, I mean, I'm sure once you start down, like if it's somebody close to him, I'm sure once you start that, you go down that rabbit hole. It honestly, like, it sounds crazy, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's actually pretty easy. Like you're talking to the Pope and he's like, yeah, I was at the World Series back in 2005. Oh, which game were you at? Game whatever. Where are we sitting? Oh, I was actually pretty close to the field. Then you just go back and watch the game. Oh, there's the Pope. Boom, game over.
Wild to end up on TV.
It is. No, that is the crazy part for sure.
Yeah,
like
it was like a brief, quick second.
Yeah, the fact that they caught him, but I'm like, that's my favorite part of that whole thing was everybody in the comments were like, he's one of us. He's one of us. But I saw this tweet, which, you know, if I'm a White Sox fan, it's kind of getting me fired up. But Chico Harlan on Twitter said this was from a few days ago, said there's some conflicting reporting on whether the new Pope Leo 14th is a Cubs or White Sox fan. Well, I just spoke with Augustinian Friar Joseph Farrell. Last night, Farrell texted to ask. Pope Leo the 14th responded less than 4 hours after being elected with one word, quote, Sox. I'm like, that's
fire me up material.
That's a fan right there.
Yeah,
that's a
cool.
fan.
That's cool.
I mean, I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. But do you think when he's doing his, I mean, they do like what is it, like benedictions and things like that? I don't know what they do. Do you think?
Lost me.
You think while he's doing these things, he's got? You think he's got the MLB app up on his phone, off to the side?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Watching some Sox.
Yeah. Like during confession.
Confession. While he's meeting with his Cardinals, is that a thing?
I feel like this would make a really good commercial. Just like in the booth, someone's confessing.
Watching
just
some
like, yeah.
Sox.
Go.
It has been 6 weeks since my last confession. Send him!
Oh, yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. White Sox have had some weird fans.
Who else?
Your new friend Obama.
Did I mention that on here?
I don't think you did.
Was that last episode? I feel like did I mention that?
Did you?
I don't know.
You told me about it, obviously, but I don't know.
Almost ran into Obama on his golf cart. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was out at the driving range with my wife's grandfather. He's a member at this club that apparently Obama golfs at regularly, and he's making his way around. Well, like it started raining. We make our way up to the parking lot, and two SUVs sitting at the end of the cart path, and he's like trying to get around him, but he can't. So he starts backing up, and these guys, turns out they're Secret Service. They go, whoa, 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 whoa. My wife's grandpa slams on his brakes, turn around. Here comes Obama riding shotgun on the golf cart behind us. So I almost would have been on the evening news had something happened to him.
Could have been.
What could have been? Speaking of rain, last thing I got here, did you see what the Rays did for their first ever rain delay?
I did not.
They gave out commemorative ponchos. So they put something up on the scoreboard. It was like, come to the, I don't know, info desk or whatever and get a commemorative rain poncho. And it said
they were prepped for this.
For sure, which I love. You got to love the attention to detail.
Yeah.
And you go up and get the poncho. It says Rays first rain delay. It's presented by Budweiser. Classic.
That's cool. That's a really good idea. Really, really smart. It's going to be interesting, man, because they like front loaded all of their games to be at home and to try and avoid rain during the late spring and early summer. So it's going to be weird to see, but you're going to see the roads out a lot. Road grays rocking for the Rays quite a bit.
Oof. Yeah, man, 27 years. Hadn't had a rain delay, because
cool.
They played in a dome, but still.
Pretty cool.
That's all I got, man.
Good stuff, guy. Look, are we gonna plug this? Are we gonna try to commit to this Sunday? Should we plug it? It's a good one to start.
I was gonna ask, what's the matchup?
It's Soto playing the Yanks for the first time.
Oh, is that this weekend?
And it's in Yankee Stadium, I believe.
Oh, joy.
So that's going to be interesting.
All right. So tentatively, yeah, you're right. Mets at the Bronx, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. So if you've heard us talking about trying to link up for a Sunday night broadcast, it's because we're going to do a little learn how to keep book with Nate, which, by the way, you have yet to send me a recommendation for book that I need to purchase for this.
We'll get on Amazon after this. I'll tell you which one.
So yeah, if you want to hang out with us, if you want to any of the following, if you want to hang out with us, if you want to learn how to keep book, if you already know how to keep book, but just want to watch some ball with the boys and some grub, maybe BYOG.
Bring your own grub.
Then make plan tentatively. I'll
Bring
confirm
your own grapes.
I will confirm as we get closer, but plan tentatively to join us this Sunday. Now, make sure I didn't have anything because I've been busy pretty much the last 12 Sundays, it seems.
You have.
Make plans to join us Sunday night and bring a book if you want to learn how to keep book. Because I've been a fan of baseball my entire life. Don't know how to keep book. I mean, I know what a lot of the things mean, obviously, but in terms of keeping a book start to finish, I've never learned. So Nate's going to teach me and maybe some of you all.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how easy it is. And this gives you enough time, listener, to buy a book and for it to get here in time. So come hang out Sunday while we learn some things. You're never too old.
I'm going to just go ahead and make this request now, though. I'm going to need you to sort of be engaged with me and the people that have joined us, because I know how you get when you watch your Yankees.
What are you talking about? It'll be fine.
You've told me what the experience is like when you watch Yankees games. You don't want anybody around. You want to be able to focus.
No, yeah, I get it. It depends on how the series goes, to be honest with you.
It doesn't. It's not going to matter because you're going to be locked in regardless.
I'll be locked in.
Very well.
Promise.
That's all I got. Unless you got anything for the folks.
Read the lid. If you can't read, and if you're not watching and you need some descriptors, because that's what my job is, Don't go chasing curveballs.
That's crazy because you could be watching, like if you flip on YouTube, you're going there to watch so you can read, so you don't need those descriptors. That's crazy.
Just making a lot of assumptions out here.
Check out Nate's lid, also my lid. We're rocking a couple hats from the shop. Check out the shop, 30take, THREEOHTAKE.com/shop if you want a lid, shirt, jersey. We got it all on there.
Beanie.
Need to keep the noggin a little warm.
Some of us, some of us out there maybe don't have super warm weather yet. I'm not one of them, unfortunately.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.